I want to explain to you guys how these people are pure cowards, or as JD Vance's own cousin put it, the VP and Trump are, quote, useful idiots to Putin. But I just don't understand how Trump has gone through his whole career projecting strength, or trying desperately to project strength even when he doesn't have any strength to project, yet all of a sudden he thinks the US is too weak to help out Ukraine. He thinks that we can't help them because Russia is just too strong and is going to roll over them. He also said the other day regarding Russia, China, and Iran doing military exercises together that it doesn't concern him. When a reporter said, hey, Russia, Iran, and China are doing military exercises, does that concern you? Trump said, no, we are stronger than all of them. So we are simultaneously too weak to help out Ukraine battling one country, but too strong to even worry about three countries doing military exercises together. It's Schrodinger's military. Trump has no coherent military theory. He doesn't even know what theory is. He just blindly walks our country off of a cliff, I guess. But I do want to break down JD Vance's cousin, who, I hate to break it to you, kind of seems like a cool guy. He fought on the front lines in Ukraine, helping train soldiers, helping repel Russia, and now he's coming back to say his cousin has lost his damn mind. Let's break this all down. Just make sure you drop a like on the video below. So JD Vance's cousin says the vice president and Trump are useful idiots to Putin, and that's putting it lightly in my opinion. Nate Vance reportedly spent 3 years trying to help Ukraine repel Russian troops and has been alarmed by his cousin's remarks. After voluntarily fighting in Ukraine to defend it from Russia's invasion, and as the White House halts Ukrainian military aid, JD Vance's first cousin has called the VP and Trump, quote, useful idiots to Russian dictator Vladimir Putin, and he said a lot more. But the highlight here is JD Vance almost got his cousin killed. Lately, Vance and Trump have suspended the U.S. military intelligence sharing with Ukraine, and that has gotten hundreds of Ukrainian civilians and military operators killed because they no longer have the intel to know when to expect strikes or when to dip. So Nate Vance's comments to a French newspaper came after he spent 3 years volunteering to try to help Ukraine repel Russian troops, and the remarks amounted a notable reaction to the disastrous televised meeting of Vance, Zelensky, and Trump in the Oval Office. During that confrontation, Vance said that Zelensky led, quote, propaganda tours. Meanwhile, JD Vance is the one walking around spewing propaganda to American citizens. Now, I'm not going to play this full thing because I've already played part of it, but we have a new clip of JD Vance getting confronted by protesters, and I'm assuming you guys want to see it because these protesters make some pretty great points that I think we can break down. Let's take a listen to this clip.
What is articulated strategies?
Selling them out. Absolutely.
Respectfully, I disagree. I think that what we're doing is we're actually forcing a diplomatic settlement. That if you talk to Joe Biden,
You're not forcing a diplomatic settlement. You are opening the door for Vladimir Putin to reinvade. I don't know why it's so hard to get it through their thick skulls that Vladimir Putin is a bad faith actor. Trump's entire theory is that Putin likes him on a personal level, therefore he won't ever invade again. Remember when Trump was in the Oval Office, he was saying, Putin would never do it to me. He's never done it to me. Yeah, dude, Trump does not understand how Putin works, that a peace deal without security guarantees is a piece of paper that Putin would rip up gladly. Even if you somehow got Putin to not invade for the next 3.5 years when Trump is president, he would just reinvade in 4 years. That is how Putin works, and these people are totally right.
What about the revolutionary war? Do you think Russia can be diplomatic?
That's a good question. Do you think Russia can be diplomatic? And I guess there might be a better way to word that because Putin can act diplomatic. Putin's a smart guy. He can put on a suit, he can shake a hand, and he can speak very softly, and he can act diplomatic. But can he actually abide by the international laws that the U.S. tries to abide by? Like when you sign a deal, you stick with that deal.
Have you been Putin's best ally?
This is about a separate country, and I don't think our investment in that country can go on indefinitely. I understand.
Okay. That is also a terrible point, and it shows that he has no clue what's happening. He said, this is about a separate country, and I don't know if our investment can go on indefinitely. It can. Okay, number one, it's not even about a separate country. This is about the United States as well. Ukrainian security directly correlates with the United States security. We are using Ukraine to help repel Russia, and it's helping out both countries because Russia would continue to march through Europe. If not, just because it's another country does not mean it does not affect the US. It does in many, many ways. Because also, if we do allow Russia to grab Ukraine, China will grab Taiwan. North Korea will start to attack South Korea. I mean, it emboldens autocrats all across the globe, but also the idea that we don't even have the resources to continue supporting them. We do. We have more than enough resources. Why are you acting like we're not the strongest military in the world? But you know, you guys have seen probably the rest of that clip. If you want me to make another whole video breaking it down, I will. But this video is about JD Vance's cousin. Quote, Donald Trump and my cousin clearly believe they can placate Vladimir Putin, Nate Vance said to a French newspaper. He then invoked a moniker historically applied to people who are taken advantage of by political leaders. Nate Vance said, quote, they are wrong. The Russians are not about to forget our support for Ukraine. We are Vladimir Putin's useful idiots. And it's almost not even being a useful idiot anymore. It's just complicity. Like we are complicit in Vladimir Putin's conquest for land. Quote, when he criticized aid to Ukraine, I told myself that it was because he had to please a certain electorate. It was a game of politics, Nate Vance said. You know, I find that line to be super interesting. I've always found it fascinating to see people evolve, or rather devolve, with their political opinions. Like, I know that JD Vance 5 years ago understood the importance of protecting Ukraine. When JD Vance was a never Trump guy, that JD Vance, I'm sure he understood it. But now he has devolved so much that even his cousin was thinking he surely can't actually be criticizing US aid to Ukraine. He's just playing politics. But now JD Vance's cousin, along with the rest of the country, just have their jaw wide open. Like, what is this dude? Why does the vice president and the president, why do they hate Ukraine so much? Nate Vance specifically took aim at JD Vance's remarks to Zelensky that Vance had, quote, watched and seen stories that justified his distrust of Ukraine and its president. Dude, your cousin is there. Quote, I thought I was going to choke, Nate Vance reportedly added. His own cousin was on the front lines. I could have told him the truth without personal interest. He never tried to find out more. He said he subsequently left messages for the vice president at his office, but none had been returned. He said he did not want to risk being captured after Trump won a second presidency in November with JD Vance, who was previously one of Ohio's U.S. senators, as his running mate. So he returned to the U.S. in January, shortly before Vance took office as Trump's vice president. Wow, JD Vance, good job. You're going to get your cousin captured or killed or severely, severely hurt. Nate Vance's father is the brother of JD Vance's mother. He described having previously vacationed with the vice president. Obviously, Trump's entire strategy here is sickening. It's not even a strategy. He is just bullying our allies while being super, super nice in trying to placate Putin with the hope. This is the disgusting part, is that Donald Trump is hoping that Putin is friendly enough, or you know what, Donald Trump is egotistical enough to actually be convinced that Putin is friendly enough or a good faith actor enough to not break a peace deal just because he loves his buddy Donald Trump. Now, Trump doesn't care about the long-term security guarantees of Ukraine. He cares about being known as the peace president for the next 4 years. So all he wants is a peace deal that can last throughout the rest of his term, and Vladimir Putin likely will placate Trump back. He'll be like, hey, you know what? We'll give you peace for the next 4 years. And when I say peace, I mean Russia rearming and getting ready to reinvade and slaughter tens of thousands of more Ukrainians. That's not a peace deal. That is basically letting one side rearm while giving the other side nothing. Actually, we're not giving them nothing. We're taking away their minerals, according to Trump's framework for a deal. So it's all disgusting. And drop a like if you agree with JD Vance's cousin. Drop some blue hearts if you agree with JD Vance's cousin. I love every single one of you, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.